Take two.
The department received a call this morning around 7 from a jogger who found this body. Neighbors identified her as Caitlin Moss, and the time of death is estimated to be around 1 p.m. yesterday. Since this was such a violent death, let's bring in the lab on this one.
Do you see the fibers around the body? We should collect some samples for testing.
Okay.
Oh, the fibers will go out with snow. We should collect some of these fibers. Okay, I think we can call that good.
Hey!
So what's the latest on the Moss case?
Well, I've been compiling a list of suspects, and we have a few witnesses, but no one really saw anything, so I'm not really sure where to go from here.
Well, I think we should just investigate the suspects that we do have. Send that fiber sample over to Agent Lawson in the lab.
It's a good start. Hi, agents. Hi, Agent Lawson.
Anything for me to look at for the Moss case?
We actually do have one fiber sample for the lab to run.
Oh, perfect. These will work great. Thank you.
Oh, and I have a meeting with Agent Cross, so I will leave you two here.
Okay, great. Good to see you.
How are you, sweetie?
Looking good, babe.
Want to go out to lunch, babe?
I'd love to, but I'm about to interview the first suspect in the Moss murder.
Well, I guess I'll see you later.
See you later. Miss Hunter, I'm Agent Richards. Thank you for coming in today. Do you live in the Crestbrook community?
Yes, for 4 years.
Okay. Were you taking a walk through the neighborhood around 10:30 in the morning on Friday, December the 23rd?
Yeah, I take a walk through there every day.
And what were you doing between 10:30 and 1:30 that day?
Go ahead. I went to a movie at noon with some friends.
Do you have some kind of evidence of that?
Yeah, I've got the ticket stub right here. So what's this all about?
I'm afraid it's an open investigation, so I can't say much about it, but thank you for your time today, Miss Hunter.
Wow, Moss had a really nice house.
Let's do it, just not around to enjoy it anymore.
Let's just focus on finding some evidence instead of admiring the real estate.
Fashion micro last night at dinner.
I know.
As always. Let's see. Interesting to pick apart something's work here. This is interesting.
Oh. If there's somebody to care for this dog, I have to see about that with animal control if they can line up some help.
Looks so kind.
Agents Williams, Lawson, I found her phone. We should probably requisition the phone records. There may be some evidence on it.
Right?
Good plan.
Oh, Peter, I'll see you tonight for dinner, right?
Yep.
Good. What was that?
That's nothing. I'm Agent Williams.
Well, sir?
Agent Richards, thank you for meeting with us today, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, you're quite welcome. What can I do for you?
Well, we're investigating the murder of a Caitlin Moss.
Oh, terrible, terrible thing, wasn't it?
Well, and we've requisitioned her phone records and discovered that you've placed a number of calls to her cell phone.
Yes, I have.
And we were just trying to determine the reason for that.
Yes, I have made several calls to her. She was a client of mine.
And why were you representing her?
Well, I suppose since it's a public record, I can explain. We were representing her in a traffic accident. She was suing Mr. Parr for damages caused in a car accident.
And what was the outcome of this lawsuit, Mr. Jackson?
Well, we succeeded in winning the judgment against Mr. Parr, and now we're working to enforce that against him.
So Miss Moss is having trouble with Mr. Parr.
Well, let's say he wasn't voluntarily paying the judgment. No.
Okay. Can we get some contact information for Mr. Parr?
Well, I suppose since it's part of public record, I can probably give that to you.
Thank you for your time and cooperation, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, you're very welcome, agents. Hope it's been helpful.
Mr. Parr, the first question is, were you in a car accident on October 17th with Miss Caitlin Moss?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and you were found to be at fault in that accident, correct?
That's still to be determined, but I believe that's correct.
Yeah, and you haven't paid the insurance claims for the accident with Moss, have you?
No.
Okay, so I understand that you're currently in some financial straits right now, that you've lost your job and you have 2 mortgages on your house.
That's correct. That's correct. I invested in the solar program. My friend Barack Obama recommended it, but I'm afraid it fell through.
Oh, I see. I see. And so now, what were you doing on December 23rd at 1 p.m.?
I think I was stone drunk and fishing.
The department has been investigating the murder of a Caitlin Moss, which occurred on December 23rd.
Oh,
and,
how terrible.
She was murdered in her home, and the evidence is really pointing in your direction, Mr. Parr. And
Wow.
so I'm afraid we don't have any choice at this time but to put you into custody.
Oh, outstanding! I couldn't pay for the mortgage this month. So, does it have color television? And do they have room service there?
Oh yes, and regular exercise times.
Oh,
So,
very good. Okay. Is it my own private suite, or do I have to bunk with somebody else?
I'm afraid there's a room for you.
So-
Okay, let me get an additional officer.
Sir, would you please stand? And you have, turn around. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. The attorney.
Sarah, what are you doing? Pouring a cup of coffee? Do you
No,
want
with my boyfriend!
What do you mean your boyfriend?
Peter!
I saw
he's
you
my
yesterday.
boyfriend! No, he's mine. I've been dating him for 3 years.
We've been going out for 4 and a half.
That cannot be.
No, seriously, Maggie, I don't believe a word you're saying. You're trying
No,
to steal him
he is
from me.
my
No,
boyfriend.
no. Oh my word. Maggie, yeah, I know, we were just arguing, but I was just looking through a box, of evidence from the victim's house. You're not gonna believe what I found. You need to come to my office right now.
What?
Look what I found.
Is that Caitlin Moss?
Yes, Peter was dating the victim. And see that display? That was 5 years ago. She must be an ex-girlfriend.
Do you think he killed her?
Well, he certainly wasn't on the level with the 2 of us.
That's for sure.
You know, Peter was the one who really pushed for arresting Mr. Parr as our prime suspect.
It's true.
I'm gonna look over that evidence again.
Okay.
Sarah, why on earth are you releasing Mr. Parr? He is our prime suspect in a murder investigation.
I'm no longer convinced he committed the murder. Do you know what I found when I was going through the box of evidence from the victim's house? This picture. You were dating the victim. And I know about Maggie. You've been lying to us for years. How can I believe any of the evidence you've presented? How can I know that you didn't commit the murder?
That's ridiculous. Why would I murder her? There's no reason for me to do that. And you accusing me? We've been partners for years.
Guys, autopsy just came in.
And we were all wrong.
On December 23rd, Caitlin Moss was taking her beloved dog Goldie for their typical after-lunch walk. Suddenly, Goldie was overcome with rage towards his owner and attacked her. Caitlin's neck was torn open. Goldie has since disappeared, and there is now a warrant out for his arrest.